Hey everyone, welcome in this new video. In today's video, we are going to be talking about the capture zones in each map. A special thanks to ProRider for, well, making these videos, or actually helping me with this video. So let's get started, and we will first review the capture safety in DROPDEAD Gorge, because we are officially gonna inspect every single capture in this game. And I'm sorry if this video can take very long. At least I want to make it 30 minutes. But yeah, this is replays, by the way, but either way then, we are gonna say what are the entry points, and we're first on this entry point right here for the capture, and this one can be blocked pretty easily already right from the start, and this is the first entry point, and this is for our team. Now, as you can see, there is an entry point and there is an entry point. These are the two main entry points for the enemy team, but this one is for your team as well. So if you are smart, you are gonna place two ships there and you are gonna split up and then go capture. And then you block off that road, and at that point your capture is actually almost completely free. And this can be very easily blocked, by the way, but you gotta time it correctly. This is an entry point, but this one can be easily blocked. So if you place like one enforcer there, it should hold this line and this line as defense. So that's a good strategy. Yeah, we have an artillery position right there where I'm aiming at and circling with this orange thing here. With my recorder, I decided to make that. And what you need to know about the capture is that even if it is 1% in a 1v1, you will win that 1v1 because you have taken the risk to go capture. So now you can see how overpowered capture can be. It can be a real game changer. And it doesn't matter if the enemy team has one ship more than you and you do 100% capture. You will win either way because you captured until 100%. So capture is something very overpowered. So you can see here we have the artillery position. So you gotta look a bit at the orange thing that I have here. At the orange recording label that I always have when I record. So that is the DROPDEAD Gorge capture. Now, you might ask yourself, how safe is this capture zone? I would say this one is safe. It is not the most safe capture zone in this game, unfortunately. It is a good spot to fight, but either way then, I think that it is like a bit too hectic, in my opinion. Okay, so that was DROPDEAD Gorge. Now we go to CRUDE Awakenings. Now, you will see this one, and yeah, I already know the answer on this one, but I will tell you why this one is dangerous. Okay, so we have first, this is already an entry point for the enemy to stop capture here, and this is an artillery position for your team. Now we have here an entry point, there we have an entry point, there we have an entry point, there is an artillery position, there is an artillery position, and this can be an artillery position as well. Unfortunately, this is not an artillery position, so you can see that this is one of the worst captures in this game. And if you have an enemy speeder on the team and you have mortar spammers, and your team is already entire shooter and like one fixer, you are gonna be dead. And why are you gonna be dead? Because the speeder will cruise across and spot enemies. And that can lead through very bad situations. As you saw, you can launch grenades from here. You can launch missiles from here. You can take cover behind this and you can shoot the enemy. Even if you have cover here a bit, it's not a good capture to take and it's far too dangerous. What should you be doing instead of going capture in CRUDE Awakenings? Instead, you want to eliminate the team and win the battle. When do you want to take this capture? That is the next question that you guys have. Well, you only want to take this capture if you are like in a 3 versus 1 situation. Then it's a good idea to go capture, because you will slowly rip apart the speeder that you are trying to catch, for instance. Overall, this is a very terrible capture to take, and even with 3 people, this one can be dangerous as well. So keep that in mind. You don't want to go capture here immediately. So this one is an absolute mortar box. I think you guys already knew that right from the start. So now we're going over to the next capture zone. Okay, so next up we have the Fight House. The Fight House is actually, well, a great map in my opinion. I like that map. Like, it's in middle of the night, you know, it's just a great capture. It's not a great capture, because as soon as we enter, what do we see? We see that there are 3 entry points towards this capture, which makes it already pretty hard. And if we take a good look around, you can see that there are actually a lot of different sites where you can get attacked from. For instance, as I moved here, you can also get taken out here, and you have cover fire behind this thing here. And not only that, it can get worse. It can get much worse, because like, this capture is just dangerous to take in general. First of all, because there are 3 sites to get attacked from. And not only that, this side here is an impossible attack as well, because you can just cruise across. And yeah, at that point, if you take this capture, you are gonna be in a very bad spot, because like, you can take cover here and you can attack the team from here, and this can lead through very bad situations. And the enemy team has this side, right? If you take this with your team, you are gonna be dead, because they have an advantage here, because they have cover here, and they can attack from, like you can see, I take cover, I fire. And not only that, that's not the only thing here. Like, you can see Pro Rider couldn't attack us because we were too fast, actually. But this here is an entry point as well for the enemy team. And this one is the worst. And the reason this is the worst is because here there is capture. Here there is cover, I mean. And you can just go there and then shoot them. Or you can equip railguns and you can shoot them. Or like, you can get closer from here. You can go from cover to cover and then attack them. Overall, this capture is pretty terrible to take, but it's not as terrible as CRUDE Awakenings. CRUDE Awakenings is worse. So when do you want to go capture here? You only want to capture in 1v1 situations, or if you are, well, outnumbering the enemy in like a 2 versus 4 situation, then it can be a good idea to go capture here. But either way, then it's too dangerous, because it's in the central, and it's close to the enemy spot. And even if the enemy takes this capture, it's in the middle of the map, so it's not really that safe. This one is pretty dangerous, so you gotta have high experience with capture there. We have next Wayward Pains, and this is one of my favorite maps. This one is my favorite Wayward Pains map, of course. That's my favorite 1v1 map. I like this map a lot to 1v1 with, and this is the Enforcer's terrain, as I always say. And some people might be saying, why is this the Enforcer terrain? Well, you can see how beautiful this map is. I like this map a lot. It's just general a great location to fight on. I just like it. It's not that great for team fights, but either way then, yeah. Okay, so we have 1 entry point at here. We are now at that one, so you can see. This one is pretty easy to block, because you enter here always to go capture. And there are like 3 entry points at this point, so you can place an Enforcer here. And the Enforcer, he or she will block with mines, of course. But besides, you can also block here with mines, because that's an entry point as well for the enemy. However, most likely the enemy is not gonna come from one of these directions. And why is that not a thing? Well, first of all, these sides get blocked really easy, so you can play a continuous capture game, and eventually you will capture to 100%, and there is nothing that the enemy can do. So yeah, you're fucked with this capture. If the enemy team takes this capture, whoever takes this capture will be in a winning position, because this one is not safe. This one is not safe. This one is very safe. So yeah, so you can see we are right now at the entry points here. So yeah, I inspected this capture very good, and the reason you cannot stop this capture is because you can't fire with mortars at this capture, because there is too much bulky objects and a too large wall for it. So now we're here at this entry point again, and if you place a mine here, it will already be blocked. Mines are very overpowered. Like, if you use them correctly, yeah. So there are 3 entry points at this moment. There are actually only like 1, and that is this one. But either way, then this one can get blocked also very easy. You just need 1 or 2 mines, and then it's done. So yeah, this capture is just very safe in general. So that was my favorite 1v1 map, the WAYWARD Pains map. Now we're going over to the other one, which is also very good. Sorry for all that firework on the background if you heard that. Hope it doesn't distract. We have SUBZERO here. And SUBZERO, well, what safety do we give it? SUBZERO has high waves, and we spawn in here. This is the speeder map, and the reason I call this the speeder map is very easy, because it's simple. Well, a very good one. This one has high waves, and you can take cover behind them, and you can shoot other people from like different angles. And we can see that there are actually 3 sides that you can get attacked from. You can get attacked from here and from here, but also from here. So 3 sides. Can you block these things with mines? The question to that is answered. No, you can't. Does that make this a necessarily, well, bad capture? No, it doesn't. And why does it not be a bad capture? The reason this is not a bad capture is because you can use the waves as cover for cannons and railguns and all that other stuff, except for artillery. Artillery is the counter to this capture zone. Either way, then, it's worth taking the risk, and there is not too many bad things about this capture. So the capture safety is safe. It might sound weird, but it is safe in fact. So yeah, this one is pretty safe. I have my opinions about this one as well. It is less safe than DROPDEAD GORGE, or like not as safe as like WAYWARD Pains, but it is a safe capture. Next up, we have Chill Zone. This is one of my favorite ones, and this is also one of my favorite maps. I remember very good battles from here, and we are gonna inspect this capture. Okay, so we have this entry point towards the capture. This one cannot be blocked by the enemy. Yeah, and you can block this one very easily with like 2 mines or something, and then you can block this one as well, and preventing the enemy from entering it. You can also see that this is there are 2 entry points that you can block very easily, and then this capture will already become a lot safer. So this one is pretty good, because you only need like a few people to block this off, and you will be going capture. So you can see I shoot there because I will mark the entry points here. There is an artillery position in this map, as I always like to call it, an artillery position where you can fire from above. Here is an artillery position with these ice blocks here. And yeah, there is here an entry point and here an entry point. So with 2 people, you can block the entire capture zone and you will have claimed the capture. And that is pretty nutty. That's pretty nutty, like for real. You only need like 1 mine here because it's such a small enclosed space. And here you might need 2 mines. So yeah, that's pretty nutty. Like there is only one way to like destroy this capture, and that is with mortars. With mortars, this capture can be counterable, but other than that, it's overall a very safe capture zone. This one is, in fact, more safe, I think, than DROPDEAD Gorge, because for DROPDEAD Gorge, you need a little bit more people. So this one is very safe as well. It's a little bit higher ranked than DROPDEAD Gorge. Very good, very good. And if you disagree with this, you're an absolute psychopath. Let me tell you that. Next up, we have DESTRUCT 9, and I already have my thoughts about this one, and I already know the safety on this one. But yeah, I do like to say that this one is close to dangerous. This one is very close to dangerous, but it is not too dangerous as well. So now everyone is probably confused, but I will tell you that this one is average safety, and I will explain why this one is average safety. Here is an entry point for the enemy, and here is an entry point for the enemy. The enemy mostly will come from here and take cover and fire at you from there. So that is one position that they have, and you also have, of course, the middle entry. And you can't see really that as an entry, but it is an attack where you get from. And there is one other attack, and I will show that right now. That is, as you can see, my speeder is moving this way. This is an attack as well, and that's the same for the enemy, because the enemy can like attack you from there, and they can even take mortars and use them to reset the capture. But this time, mortars are not too effective against this capture. And why? Because there is a bulky object in the middle as cover. So it's very hard to reset the capture for both teams. So whoever takes this capture has either an advantage or a disadvantage. When does it get a disadvantage? It gets a disadvantage once you take out one other ship and it becomes like let's say the enemy has a 4 versus 5 advantage, 1 ship advantage, and they go capture, but they lose a ship. At that point, it's not too clear who is winning or losing, because the reason for that is very simple, because then the team that goes capture has, of course, the advantage, but either way, then it's a pretty dangerous capture at some points. But this one is average. If let's say if you have a 1+ ship advantage, it is probably worth taking. But either way, then it's a pretty dangerous capture zone, so do not immediately capture there. Think before you do. And yeah, that one was average, and this one is the same as well. Yeah. So you can see I'm playing here speeder, and pro rider is interceptor, and yeah, we're just inspecting this one as well. Yeah, I'm really glad that pro rider is doing this video together with us in the morning, because I have an opinion about them. Okay, so here we go. Here we have, of course, the crash and burn capture zone.
Okay, so what do we see? We see that there is cover here with these money cases, as I like to call them, because they are money cases. And yeah, what do we see? We see that here is an artillery position. So the enemy can fire mortars from here towards the capture zone. Now, this one is not too dangerous, but it is always going to be a threat, because like you can't place here an enforcer to block it, because then there is on this chopper side, is that a chopper? Yeah, that's a chopper. There is on this chopper side as well, of course, a threat. So they can fire with railguns at you from there. So yeah, that's not really an option to block that one off. And this one can be blocked. This one can be blocked by the enemy, and this side can be blocked for your team. But then you have this, but it's most likely that, yeah, that one is gonna be blocked. So yeah. Overall, this capture safety is average, and you want to take this one only when you have a ship advantage, as I always say. However, if your team knows what it does, it's probably going to be a decent capture to take, even if it's in the middle of the map. So this one is definitely worth taking, probably. So yeah. For certain captures, you have to fight, and that is, for instance, like the WAYWARD map and other stuff. But other than that, it's, yeah, WAYWARD, that's just always going to be a fight. Next up, we have this map here. Okay, so I will inspect Pro Rider here, and we will review all the dangers about this one. And I can tell you that this one is just as dangerous, even more dangerous than CRUDE Awakenings. Okay, so I didn't have Nitro here, so we are gonna inspect Pro Rider. And I will explain to you everything about how dangerous this capture exactly is. Don't get me wrong, this is a very good, like, map. And I had very good memories from this capture. I had very good memories on this map. This is where I healed around like 20k against like level 30 people. And yeah, it was just amazing, you know. Okay, so we can see there is an entry point. There is an entry point, and there is one more, and that one is there. Now you can see how small the area here is of the capture zone. And this can lead through very bad situations. And there is some cover right there to heal up, for instance, or hide. But either way then, if you look great, you see that there are 2 artillery positions for the enemy team. So whoever is capturing will be faced with artillery. And I can tell that is not good for your team. And what is worse is that there is cover here and here, and here and there, and you can just get shot without getting shot yourself. So this capture is very dangerous for your team. Never gonna take it, never. Even if you have a ship advantage of 1+, do not take this capture. And that is the same with Fight House. You only want to take these 2 captures and also CRUDE Awakenings when it's a 1v1 situation. Then you want to go capture. And even then, you should ask yourself, is this good? Is this worth it? If it is worth it and you have low HP as a speeder, it is definitely gonna be worth it. But if it's not, then don't take it. I repeat, do not take it. So yeah, remember that. Next up, we have, of course, the Foundry. The Foundry is one of my best maps, and I love to play on that map. Very good memories, very much clutches on this one. And okay, so how good is this capture? Well, as we can see, um, the enemy can spawn from 3 locations, but they mostly spawn always in the middle, so they are most likely gonna push forward here. If you are a speeder and you can block off this one, you will sabotage their entire team, because mostly the enemy is gonna keep playing there. Unless they are strategists, then they will find ways to go here and attack you from here. And you might say that that is really dangerous, but that is not the case here, because this here is not a threat, because they will expose themselves and you can fire your railguns with them, because the waves are not too rough here, but still they can be rough. So keep that in mind. And yeah, overall, I like this map. I love how Rovio created this one. Please make more maps like Wayward Paints and Foundry, because I like those. Those are very good maps. I like to play these 1v1 things here. So I wish we had like more maps like that. And mid-fight movies is even better. So yeah, this is a masterpiece. I like this map. So what is the capture safety here? The capture safety is very simple. It's safe. And you might say like, oh, but it's on the center of the map. No, 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 no. Just because a capture is in the center of the map, it's not entirely a bad position to take. For this capture, you need to fight, and the one who wins the fight wins the capture. And the one who takes the capture will eventually, maybe, if your team knows what it does, will win. So keep that in mind. Next up, after the Foundry, we have, as you can see, the most beautiful map in the world, Mid-Fight Movies. One of my most favorite maps in the game. I love this map. Okay, so we can see here that Mid-Fight Movies is just overall an amazing map. You can see how cool it is here. Yeah, it's just overall a very chill map. And you can see that the enemy can attack from like a few different sectors. It can mainly attack from these 3 sectors here. But you have this here as cover, so you can heal up pretty quickly, and you can take cover behind the waves, and you can heal up with your fixer or reaper, which is good. So yeah, this is a very good map capture to fight on and to fight for. So yeah, you can definitely see that that is amazing. Now, of course, this can be also a very dangerous capture, but this one is not entirely safe. I would say it's close to safe, but it is safe actually. It is actually safe. Sorry for confusing you. I sometimes say bad words here. Yeah, but this one is safe, but it can also be a little bit dangerous, because of like you can get attacked with long range weapons here and there, so you gotta move here and there. So if the team splits up there, yeah, you're probably gonna be here and taking cover and heal up. So yeah, it's pretty like good and unique how this capture has been created. And not only that, the capture circle is also pretty large, so stopping this capture won't be too easy for you. That is not the case here. It's not too easy to stop the capture in mid-fight movies. Overall, this capture is safe. It's less safe than DROPDEAD Gorge, but you can block certain areas with the mines. So keep that in mind. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something from this video, and I hope more people will go capture now. So yeah, this is my entire guide, and yeah, only take the dangerous and average ones if you have a massive advantage or a small advantage with the average capture zones. Because capture can sacrifice certain ships. So you gotta remember that. But just because you sacrifice a ship does not mean that it's not worth going capture. Anyway, thank you for watching. Hope you learned something from this. And I will see you in the next video tomorrow. Or today. I will make one other, maybe, but I'm not too sure about it. Adios.